um, that groove, we'll talk about it. So it's in B minor. Like I'm thinking, this is what I'm just going to tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking B minor for all of this, right? Um, we're going to go over we're going to kind of leave rhythm out of it. Um, we're just going to go over the chords and melody. Um, so the chords, you're going to notice that there are going to be chords that aren't in B minor, right? So if I didn't explain this, you'd be like, "What the fuck? You told me it was in B minor, but these chords are from G major." Um, but I'll explain why. Okay, so the chords are um, just B minor. Like I'm not even doing. I'm just doing it like that because I'm putting the melody in there. Um, just the root, the third, and the fifth. But I'm hammering on from the 11th, right? Right. So B minor, and then A minor seven, right? Right. Which you're noticing this is not in B minor, right? You'd have a major third there, but um, and then A flat altered. So A flat 7, flat 13, or sharp 5, whatever. Um, so there's an altered dominant there. And then G major 7. A lot of times with like a G major 7, or just a major 7, sorry, not a G major 7, I'll voice it like this, like without the third. Like you could put the third in there, and it probably sounds better, but I'll just do it like that, where I'm just hammering on from the 6 to the major 7, and then I have the 9 in there, and the 5th. I just like that. So I think I probably did something like that before. And then I'm doing B flat diminished 7 with a flat 13. This is just to build a little tension back to start over again, back to the B minor. Diminished chords, they're perfectly symmetrical. Like they're each note is separated by a minor third. So like if you just started on a note and stacked minor thirds until the end of existence, you would just have one fully diminished 7 chord, right? Um, and so I mean you could think of it as like you can put them like a half step below the chord you want to go to, whether it's major or minor, or a whole step above. But because of that symmetry of minor thirds, you can move the shapes in minor thirds, and it's the same chord. Like that's all the same chord. It's just different inversions, right? So that's what I'm doing the first time around to build tension back to the B minor. The second time I went up a minor third and play that. But I have the flat 13 there. And the reason I'm thinking that's working is because I'm borrowing that note from the scale, the diminished scale that would be associated with the chord, right? So it would be like a whole half diminished scale. Half whole half is the same thing. It's just like a different way. It's just like a reference thing. But it's the same thing. So I'm borrowing that chord from the right. So I do that the first time around. Second time around, I do the one up a minor third, and that note fits in the scale too. So that's what's going on with the chords. So the reason why we have chords that aren't in B minor, even though I keep saying it's very important, like the melodies, like B minor blues. You know what I mean? But like this is not in B minor, right? So what we're doing is, because we're going from this chord to this chord, we want kind of a journey there. We want to pull the ear to this chord. So what we're doing is temporarily tonicizing this G major, and we're borrowing chords that would pull you to G major, that would be in G major, right? So like it's really just a 2-5 to G major. And we're just like borrowing that, right? So the A minor 7, that's the 2 in G major, right? And then you would have the 5, right? But I'm doing, it's called a tritone substitution. We're substituting like the root note for the note a tritone away. So that's where I'm getting the altered dominant from, right? It just creates, you could do that, but it's better, or I like the chromatic movement there, like, you know what I mean, to the G major. So we're just temporarily doing that to pull us there. And like you could do other things to pull you back to the minor. Like you could do a 6-2-5. You know what I mean? But So that's why that's working. But over top of it, the whole time, the melodies and it's like B minor blues, right? So those are the chords, and then the melody. I mean, I'll just kind of try to like kind of play it slowly, right? I think I'm. Right. And I'm just doing a trill there with the flat five or the B minor blues scale. That's what this is, right? And then I'm sliding into the upper structure of that altered dominant, and then hitting the root note after. And then I'm just doing, which you can, this is 2 notes, right? Hammering on there. Right, and then I just did that kind of voicing, then diminish to the flat 13 to go back, and then the other parts. Right, still just the B minor blues scale over top of all this. And then, so in these parts, I want to play the bass note, but I can't really voice like a chord over it. Or I want to just play the bass note and like the melody at the same time. So that part is using this as like a grace note. Right, I'm playing that like for that part. I'm rolling into the melody like a pianist or whatever. Right. Yeah, and then back with that diminished chord I was talking about, but a whole step above where we're going. Right. Yeah. I hope that makes some sense.